That's crazy, yeah. That's crazy. Well, I didn't thought in this way also. Addiction on this particular loop.
And this is universal. Like, I think nobody on earth is now free of this loop.
Okay, so we have the man with us.
What is up, man?
What is up? What is up?
All good, all good.
डन 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 बताओ क्या चल रहा है सर कैसे क्या हालचाल है आपके
I'm in day 6 of quarantine.
अच्छा तो कब हुआ
So
हमें
it's been
कितने
a
दिन पे
it's it's been a pretty chill week.
अच्छा नाइस यार
Six
नाइस
six
नाइस
days
लेट
ago,
पीपल जॉइन इन
आराम से। I don't know,
सर आपकी साइड आई
दोपहर को
थिंक देयर इज
तीन
अ
बजे
नेट
कितने
प्रॉब्लम
लोग आएंगे?
एम आई ऑडिबल
Yeah. Is it better now?
या नाउ इट्स बेटर चलो ठीक है नाउ नेट इज ऑन प्लेस यस
Cool, cool.
ठीक है लोग लंच कर रहे हैं बट लेट्स डिस्टर्ब दैट इन बिटवीन So, sir, abhi recently I heard about your neuro marketing workshop. Let's start
Yeah,
with
dude.
that. What was the purpose behind that thing? Because I attended the session, right? I attended the boot camp, the 101, everything. And here's
Yeah.
the thing I liked about it. We as marketers are very cool with giving
Mm-hmm.
strategies that actually give results, right?
Mm.
And we work together and we create the whole thing and it worked, right? But
Correct.
when I'm thinking why this exact script is working, or why did this orange button give me more response than green button, or when
Mm.
I'm thinking why this font is working and this font is not working, that is what I understand neuro marketing.
Mm.
So I want to hear from your end what was the reason of that, why do you think it was a great success, and what is your plans with that?
The reason that I wanted to start neuromarketing was I wanted to talk about how everything is context. So when you buy something, you are not buying that thing in isolation. You're buying
Okay.
that thing against the backdrop of what you're seeing it on. Okay, so this is what is
Uh,
very important. And this is what traditional marketing doesn't really talk about. Because they say that orange means this, yellow means this, blue means this. But the way the brain works is not that orange is taken in isolation. It is orange in the backdrop of what?
okay.
Similarly, if I'm going to give you a product, like if I'm going to sell you an Apple phone, if I'm going to sell you an iPhone, that iPhone itself has less value as compared to what is the construct of the iPhone. Like आप कौन से story से iPhone बेच रहे हो? Like everything is judged against the backdrop. So
Hmm.
I wanted to talk about neuromarketing and really teach those people about the importance of creating the background first. Create the story first before you sell the product.
So it's pre-marketing basically that you are out there with
Yeah.
your strategy and everything. It's pre-marketing. Ki how do you create that context in which you will sell, and not about the content
Exactly.
and everything, right? That's why it was different, I think.
Exactly, because everybody thinks about the product, right? That is natural. अगर आपको कुछ बेचना है तो you obviously start thinking about the product. But then very few people think about creating the constructs around the product. कि आप
Makes
background
sense.
अगर create करोगे तो आपका product अच्छे से बिकेगा. So there is a difference.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Acha.
Hmm.
Cool. Cool. So also there are news about neuro living, right? Neuro living project. What is that?
I haven't announced it yet, dude. I haven't announced it yet.
Acha. Acha. So
So the idea is to not really make an announcement until April. I'm doing a pilot project. So for whoever is listening, I'm doing a small pilot project, and it's an interesting concept on habit formation. But that's all I'm going to say right now. We have seven people who have joined in for the first 6 to 8 weeks. I'm going to do a pilot project with them. Once everything is sorted, the whole protocols are in place, then I will announce it to everyone else. So these are people who joined into the neuromarketing workshop. So they get to be the first ones to join in the Neuro Living project. But in 2 months, I promise I'll announce everything.
Awesome. So recently, your comic is working really well, right?
Yeah.
The dopamines and the oxytocin and everything, right? How did you got that idea? Like, कहाँ से concept आया कि यार इस पे comic चालू करते हैं? Was it regarding NFTs and everything, or was it कि नहीं सिर्फ एक pilot project है?
It was on my mind for almost a year. It didn't start off as an NFT.
Oh,
It started off as a way to teach kids neuroscience. And it is
अच्छा.
that is still my primary purpose, because everything else is secondary. I want to be able to make neuroscience really fun and non-threatening.
हाँ,
Like if somebody wants to understand their brain, it's not like अच्छा तुमको 10 साल पढ़ाई करना पड़ेगा, तुमको PhD करना पड़ेगा. Like that should not be the case, because
right,
there are some knowledge fields which are a privilege. Like for example, not everybody needs to know how to build a space rocket,
correct.
but neuroscience is not like that.
हाँ,
Neuroscience is personal for everyone. And so to tell people that you have to study for 15 years to understand your own brain is fundamentally wrong. In fact, I think neuroscience should be something that each and every person on earth should know, because unke bare mein hai. It is on their mind, it is on their brain. So it's not a
मतलब
privileged subject.
राइट राइट सो न्यूरोसाइंस इज नॉट समथिंग कि ये एक सब्जेक्ट है आप एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हो इट्स लाइक द फाउंडेशन ऑन विच एवरीथिंग इज बिल्ट ऑन अगर
Correct.
को आप समझ
हाँ.
लोगे देन एवरीथिंग इज काइंड ऑफ सॉर्टेड फॉर यू
Right. So neuroscience, like there are certain things which should be non-optional. For
करेक्ट
example, nutrition. Understanding nutrition should be non-optional, because nobody is not eating. Khana
राइट
is not optional, right?
राइट
So if your food is not optional, then nutrition is non-optional. You have to understand the effect of what you're eating.
ब्रीथिंग
Just
कैन
like
आल्सो
that. Yeah, exactly. So
राइट
certain basic things about your body is non-optional. You have to know. You cannot go through life without knowing, because it is like being blindfolded. Like, what is the purpose of life then if you don't know this? Similarly, basic finances is non-optional, because nobody can
करेक्ट
escape dealing with money.
राइट
So if you're going to be dealing with money, if you're going to be earning, if you're going to be spending, then basic financial knowledge should be non-optional. So I feel like these are certain things that should be inculcated at school level, like
राइट
non-optional. तुमने अगर
करेक्ट
हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी इतना डेप्थ में नहीं पढ़ा तो भी ठीक है,
चलेगा
बट
बट
ये नॉन
न्यूरोसाइंस
ऑप्शनल
ब्रीदिंग
चीजें. हाँ.
न्यूट्रिशन cannot be
Correct.
taken for
Correct.
granted
Correct. Physical health, there are certain things which should be non-optional for everybody. It is not like अच्छा तुम decide करो तुमको क्या बनना है. Like all that is nonsense. Certain things सबको सिखाओ, हर एक बच्चे को सिखाओ,
right and
तो
I
ही
think
then it makes
in the
sense. Yeah.
in the previous age, it was kind of this pattern only that there were some topics which were in like ashrams and all those people that
Right.
all those places that it is compulsory for you to learn these and then you basically go into your bigger schools and everything your university
Correct.
kind of right
Correct.
so it was compulsory for people to learn breathing it was compulsory to understand how food works in your body it was compulsory to learn weapons at that time and then after that you can proceed into bigger things and learn whatever you exactly want to domain in but these were
Correct.
the essential foundations which are wrong right now because it's like alphabets maths I'm not saying that they are
Yeah.
wrong but it is the foundation but there are some other elements also that needs to be added in that
Yeah, for sure. Like alphabets, maths, language, of course, you do need to learn first, because those are the building blocks of communication. But then once you learn that, you have to try and prioritize कि अभी इसके बाद मेरा जो most important learning years of my life है, तो what do I learn? For example, I studied in my school in Maharashtra. We had 2 years where we studied about Shivaji Maharaj.
oh
And we
nice
had 2 years where we studied about World War II. Now, like these are decisions that the education committee has to take. Like, what is it important to talk about that same thing for 2 years in a row, or can we instead teach kids about something else which can be very useful to them? So I feel like these are there is going to be a change for sure, but then we have to talk about it. Like we have to demand that
लाना ही
change.
पड़ेगा. Like what else is the option? You
Correct.
can't grow at that scale if this is an option. That if you want, you can opt for that, right?
Correct.
Because
But certain
after
things have to
your
be
workshop and
non-option.
everything, right?
Yeah.
Because after your workshop and everything, I got interest in that.
Yeah.
Like a serious kida ki yeah, let's explore, let's buy some 2 books and just read that out, just buy one
Yeah.
more course on this and go on that, let's see all the
Yeah.
professors of neuromarketing outside India, right? Certain things pointed out in me which is kind
Yeah.
of interesting because I never thought of it like that. When the
Yeah.
marketing for me was, these are the 2 step strategies that you can have, apply them, it would work, I know it because I've
Yeah.
tried from experience.
Yeah.
But now I have the privilege and experience to actually make the customer understand that what is the deep down reason in the brain that
Correct.
is due to which this particular strategy is working or this particular thing is working, right?
Correct.
And that gave me an extra leverage because now
Mm.
the client is like ये proper expert because now
Mm.
he understands ये brain level पे क्यों काम कर रहा है. So
Absolutely. और उससे
is
उससे
neuro
फर्क पड़ता है.
so is neuroscience the reason you have been good on social media? Kind of.
No, no,
Because
not
you
really.
understand it. Acha.
So I'll tell you what. It is one thing to be theoretically aware of something, like be theoretically aware of the knowledge. Like for example, I'll tell you what. If there is a car mechanic
Hmm.
who's very good with understanding how the engine works, okay, so he can break down a car and he can remake the car perfectly. मतलब engine को
Correct.
एकदम tip top कर पाएगा. But can he win an F1 race?
No.
There is a difference. So knowing how something works and actually being able to use it in a graceful way is different. So
Got it.
a mechanic would not be able to win an F1 race, but probably Lewis Hamilton will also know everything about the car.
Right.
So you
Correct. But
need
he
to
can
know
win the
both.
F1 race.
Right. And
Uh,
Lewis Hamilton, but for Lewis Hamilton to know all about that car is going to be an advantage for him because now he knows अगर engine का ऐसा sound आया तो मतलब ये ऐसा हो रहा है, ब्रेक में ऐसा हो रहा है, गियर में ऐसा हो रहा है.
कार्बोरेटर में दिक्कत आ गई है, पानी की कमी हो गई है, there's
जो
hydration,
भी
there's
हो.
whatever.
Correct,
Uh,
correct. But he already has that skill to drive. So that is
right.
the difference that I feel like knowing about car mechanics should not be the end goal. The end goal should be to be driving well. But if you are driving well, then knowing about car mechanics is a huge advantage. If you don't know to drive at all, then car के बारे में ज़्यादा सीख के मतलब नहीं है.
Uh, करोगे
So
क्या
that
उसका?
is
There's no
करोगे क्या?
end point for
Exactly.
that. There's no
Correct.
end point you are looking for.
So I feel like you have to learn to live.
Hmm.
That is not the point. But
Uh,
once you are living, once you are out there doing stuff, then learning about neuroscience can be a game changer because now you can really get into why am I like this? Why am I reacting like this? Why am I doing this? But if you
so
don't
it's
have
like
that
shoot and aim.
curiosity, yeah,
It becomes like shoot and aim. It's not like पहले neuroscience सीखो, get clear, then live life because that would not
no,
be a correct way.
no,
Start living your life and at some point discover into this, get into this, understand ये कहाँ कहाँ apply हो रहा है, मेरे साथ क्या क्या हो रहा है. You
correct.
become consciously more aware of the things, and
It
that's
is,
when it
yeah,
helps more.
these two things happen simultaneously. Like the more you are living, and the more it is like mindful living.
Okay.
Because it's you are doing something anyway. It's like you're eating something anyway. For example, अभी तुमने you go out, you eat a plate of pav bhaji. For example, you are going to do it, right?
Right.
Whether you know about nutrition or not, pav bhaji तो तुम खा लोगे और तुमको अच्छा भी लगेगा. But knowing what is happening in your body when you're eating pav bhaji, like how many calories are going in, what is the protein content, is going to make a difference if you are once you read about it. And then you will
Right.
naturally start taking better decisions as to अच्छा मैंने आज इतना proteins खा लिया लेकिन I need to take in more proteins because I'm working out.
Right.
This
So I have an analogy
knowledge
for
makes
this.
all
It's
the
like,
difference.
so I have an analogy for this. It's like managing money. So for example, you don't do any budgeting, but you're spending money anyways, like every day.
Correct.
But
Correct.
once you start budgeting, you have kind of a कि नहीं मेरा यह expense होता है, I'll control this time. I go to this supermarket, नहीं यहाँ पे नहीं करना है, मुझे वो Red Bull नहीं लेनी है, या whatever. right? So you start breathing and you consciously just little bit start to progress in that. And once you get deep in finance, then you're like, हाँ, now I'm consciously aware पूरा काम कैसे करना
Yeah.
है, and I know my
Yeah.
finances too from bottom to top.
Correct.
Am I correct?
The best way to start saving is to know exactly how much you're buying and how much you're spending, how much you're
Right.
earning and how much you're spending. Just
हाँ,
having
मतलब
that in front of you will automatically change your behavior. Like if you can
right.
see कि भाई मैंने महीने में 1 लाख कमाया और मैंने 2 लाख spend किया, naturally next month you will spend less.
Correct.
But if you
Just
are
starting
in,
with income and
right,
expenditure, then you
but if you're
get
in
developed
denial,
into that.
हाँ, but if
हाँ,
you're in denial, like तुम एक साल के बाद ही अगर तुम देख रहे हो तो साल भर
हाँ,
तुम spend करते जाओगे, suddenly at the end of the year you'll be like minus 10 lakhs.
हाँ,
तो वो
हाँ,
नहीं होना
nice.
चाहिए. Mindful living means you are aware and then जो करना है करो, but just that
हाँ,
awareness makes all the difference.
correct. Because now you are not living in autopilot. You know that you have the steering, but it's like कि car तेज चल रही है तो let me just steer a little bit.
Correct. It is about micro decisions. तुमको बहुत major changes नहीं करना है life में. That is the key thing. And even that's
हाँ,
the basis of Neuro Living Project also. That you don't have to make big changes. वो एक गलत फहमी है. You only have to make small changes. But what are those small changes will impact you like in a very big way.
right. For example, I remember when you came to Indore and when we met, you told about having a plant and watering it daily.
Right.
Right now, let me show you my plant. I'll just bring it once again.
Sure, sure. और chat क्या चल रहा है?
So,
How are you all?
so I just applied your thing, right? So I have my plant ready right now, right? And it has become a
Beautiful.
routine. Sid Warrier said that we need to have a plant, we need to water it daily, we become more
Correct.
responsible. It's kind of
Correct.
a micro decision. कोई ज़्यादा time नहीं लगता. Like
Correct.
मैं दिन में कितना ही देता हूँ. I don't see also. It's like बस
Right.
सुबह जाके I put in धूप, शाम को आके I just take it from the sun and I
That's
just
it.
put some new water. That's it. But actually, I have become more responsible towards thing automatically. Now I don't let. I'll give you a very good example. Let's say I'm shooting some content. I took the camera. Now I'm like, हो गया shoot. Camera वहीं लगा हुआ है, and I just go out with my friends. Now I've become responsible. Now I'm like, at least let me put the lens back. That's it. I'll not put the
Yeah.
whole camera, but let me put the lens. I don't know why it happened. But then
Right.
I realized, oh, maybe that thing is now reflecting over here. So earlier what I used to do is I'm working on laptop, I'll just shut it down like this, like just flap it down and I'll go to sleep or whatever. Now I'm like,
Right.
let me shut down. Let me then do it and then go to bed. And these micro decisions are helping everywhere.
You know, our brain is actually wired to take care of babies.
Okay.
Okay. Like evolutionarily, we will take care of our babies, of our
Sense.
children. Huh. And this is at a very primitive level. मतलब it's not even like monkeys. It is even before that. वो बच्चों को देखना is a very instinctive thing.
To protect your DNA.
Correct. The only way to make sure that you are successful in life is to consider your whatever it is your project as your baby.
So me having a plant or me having a company or me as a natural parent, it is my responsibility to take care of it on a deeper level like it's a baby.
Correct. So
And
in today's world, we are running away from commitment. We are like मुझे
हाँ,
बच्चा नहीं चाहिए, मुझे
हाँ,
रिलेशनशिप
हाँ,
नहीं चाहिए. वो सब
हाँ,
ठीक है. But अगर आप वही एटीट्यूड सब चीज में डाल रहे हो कि मुझे जॉब में कमिटमेंट नहीं चाहिए, मुझे मेरे प्रोजेक्ट में कमिटमेंट नहीं चाहिए, लाइक आई डोंट वांट टू consider this as my responsibility, I don't want it as my baby, it means that you will never really give it everything because
the
it's
way
not your
you
baby.
do anything.
हाँ, मरने देना क्या फर्क पड़ता है.
हाँ, 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 हाँ,
But
हाँ.
if it's your baby, then would you do that?
Hmm.
So you
You
have
would
to
put
own
your
it.
every point of energy into that, and you will
Correct.
take care with your whole heart.
Correct. So evolutionarily, the only thing that was worth it was your kid. You know, that is the most important
Right.
thing. You will give everything.
Hmm.
But now you need to have some baby. You need to have some
Hmm.
child that you are growing. And it could be a plant. It's fine. But then get into the habit of taking care of something and watching it grow.
Right.
And that could be like your
Okay.
project, that could be your hobby, that could be your job, that could be a relationship, that could be your house, whatever. But look at it like your baby and you will immediately find the difference. क्योंकि वो जब मरेगा तो जो दुख होगा ना, that is going to keep you up and it will make sure that you will work at keep like
Right.
making it grow and giving it everything you have.
Right. And basically, the theory is that the way you do anything is the way you do everything. That implies over here. Because if you start taking care of a plant, actually, then you start taking care of that DSLR and then laptop and then the whole company and then the team members and then like everything scales after
Sure,
that. It's exponentially
sure.
growth.
And then then you also realize that the problem of having too many babies,
Hmm.
because you
Hmm.
can't take care of so many.
Right.
And so you will start being careful.
Uh, uh.
You'll start
But
using protection in your mind that you won't.
but
कि
now
भाई
it
I can't
becomes
take on anymore.
priority of baby because
Right.
as we said.
Yeah, I have. This is my favorite kid, right?
So, ये मेरा फेवरेट बच्चा है बाकी सब भाड़ में जाए पहले पहले इसकी ये जिंदा रहना चाहिए बाकी सब भाड़ में
Oh,
जाए सो
damn.
अगेन इट कम्स टू पॉइंट ऑफ कॉन्शियसली अवेयर
Yeah,
कि मैं अवेयर हूँ कि हाँ
correct.
ये मेरे बच्चे हैं और आई नीड टू टेक केयर ऑफ देम लाइक बेबीज
Right. Or outsource
राइट
it. But
हाँ हाँ बिकॉज
at least you will think about it. कि अच्छा मुझे काम पे जाना है बट बच्चे को मैं घर पे अकेला नहीं छोड़ सकता, so let me put him or her at a crush or let me get a nanny, which is what outsourcing is, right? Because that's what like for example my finances is my baby but I can't look after it all the time, so I hire a chartered accountant and I say अच्छा देख मैं तुझे पैसा देता हूँ तू मेरा देख ले पैसे को, ठीक है, like you look after my bank accounts, you look after my investments and I will pay you. So that is what you're saying. You care about your baby, but you can't give it all the time, which is fine. वही होता है आजकल. But at least you care. To not care means कि पता नहीं क्या चल रहा है, 10 साल के बाद देखा कि अरे यार मेरा बैंक अकाउंट सब मर गया है, क्या ही कर रहा था मैं. That is wrong, right? And that is what the problem of that is what mindfulness is. Like you're saying that you care about something.
and there's one more point over here. It is like the first initial years of the baby is very important. What I believe is take care of at least the initial phase yourself. Like don't outsource
Correct.
that, and then
Yeah.
you can be like, "Itna part outsource kar deta." For example, I see because I consult business owners every day, so I'm like,
Yeah.
they're like, "Ki, hey, kaam karo. I'll just give you the product. You market, you sell, you do everything. Just give me my money." I'm like,
Yeah.
that is not how you should think. I can do that, obviously, but that is
Yeah.
not how you should think. Do the first thing yourself. You will understand. Oh, my baby works like this. Then give it to someone else. So I
Yeah.
was running my Facebook app, then I hired someone. I was looking my finances, at least income and expense, nothing else. But then I
Yeah.
hired a chartered accountant. First, I did some mutual fund thing. Then I'm like, okay, crypto is coming. You take care of my crypto thing. I'll pay you this much
Right.
per month.
Right.
Right? So that
Makes
makes
sense.
more sense instead of मतलब पहले साल just first 9 months or 10 months of the baby you take care and then you can do
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
जैसे कि अब मैं
For
for
sure.
example I'm leaving Delhi right now and I'll come out of 5 days. अब ये प्लांट के लिए आई कैन आउटसोर्स समवन क्योंकि मैं इतना उगा चुका हूँ इसको 1 महीने में. आई अंडरस्टैंड हाउ इट वर्क्स. मुझे पता है कि यार इसको धूप में डालना रहेगा या इसको
Yeah.
यू नीड टू डू दिस
You
या
know
ऐसे
the
में लेके
psychology of your baby.
हाँ हाँ काइंड ऑफ मेरा बच्चा किस टाइप का है टू
Correct.
बी वेरी प्रिसाइज ऑन
And also the resilience, because not all babies are equally resilient. There are some babies who will just keep falling sick all the time, and there are some babies who would not. So, वो
टू
एक दो
फाइंड
महीने के बाद, yeah, and like you will see this in mothers also. Like the mother knows after a month or so कि मतलब बच्चे को कैसे देखना है, like कितना attention देना चाहिए, like कितना टेंशन लेना चाहिए बच्चे पे. And you know, mothers will say कि नहीं कुछ नहीं होगा, अच्छा वो गिर गया कुछ नहीं, वो उठेगा भी वापस चलना शुरू करेगा, don't worry. Like I've seen this happen.
I can relate to my mother. So my small brother has not been like outgoing kid or something like that, right? And
Right.
I am like the most jungly kind of बच्चा you can ever have. So my mother is like मेरा बड़ा बेटा बाहर गया है, वो दिल्ली अकेला जा रहा है, बॉम्बे जा रहा है, दुबई जा रहा है, आ जाएगा जिंदा होके वापस. Like she knows and she's like हाँ तू जा यार. Like you can, I know. But when my small brother is like, मम्मी मैं एग्जाम देने भोपाल जा रहा हूँ 4 किलोमीटर 4 घंटे के रास्ते में, she's like ये रख लेना, मैं चलूँ क्या तेरे साथ, should I leave someone or
Correct.
something, and then like, पर
Correct.
मेरे साथ ऐसा प्यार क्यों नहीं है, and then mother explains, because तू जिंदा वापस आ जाएगा मुझे मालूम है, right? Because
Right.
you are a monkey and you can come
Correct.
alive, I know that. I'm like,
Yeah.
that
Not
makes
all
sense.
your babies require the same amount of attention. But then that point is very true. कि शुरुआत में you do need to, like, you just need to pay it enough attention to know that it will survive. Like, it's not going to die.
तो फिर मम्मी
Evolutionarily,
उसको
that
ही
is
देती है,
most important. कि मरेगा नहीं
इसने एक
वो.
टाइम खाना खा लिया ना, जिंदा रह लेगा बस.
Correct. Now,
और
the
मेरे छोटे भाई का ऐसा,
important
इसको 3 टाइम खाना देना पड़ेगा.
the important thing here is that why is it so important कि बच्चा ना मरे? क्योंकि the cost of making another बच्चा is really high.
हाँ,
ओके क्योंकि अभी वापस 9 महीना प्रेग्नेंट रहो, वापस सारा एनर्जी डालो बॉडी का उसमें, और तो मतलब द मोर डिफिकल्ट इट इज टू स्टार्ट अ न्यू बेबी, द मोर वैल्यूएबल इट विल बी. बट हम लोग का कैसा है आजकल के जमाने में कि तुम एक नया प्रोजेक्ट शुरू करो और वो फेल हो गया, ठीक है मैं और एक करता हूँ और एक करता हूँ और एक करता
हाँ,
हूँ, राइट? सो द कॉस्ट इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट, सो यू हैव टू डिसाइड हाउ मच टाइम एंड एफर्ट यू विल पुट इन टू क्रिएटिंग अ न्यू
right.
प्रोजेक्ट.
And now it comes directly to the why divorce rates are increasing so rapidly in every country. It's
राइट.
because cost come hai. I can just swipe left and right and get a new date and find new
एब्सोल्युटली.
woman. But earlier
एब्सोल्युटली.
it was not the same case. मेरे मोहल्ले में जो
करेक्ट.
लड़की, I need to only be very precautious and do everything for her,
या
and there's no other option for me.
करेक्ट. सो
But now it's like that's right.
अगर नया रिलेशनशिप शुरू करने का कॉस्ट इज इन्वेस्टमेंट कॉस्ट इज वेरी लेस, देन यू वोंट माइंड लेटिंग द ओल्ड रिलेशनशिप डाई इजीली, क्योंकि क्या फर्क पड़ता है, ठीक है, right? So and it has its good like pros and cons. Pros is that of course like choice is good, but the con is that choice is not always good. So
Right.
it's you
And I
might you
remember when you came to Indore, you told me choices अच्छी नहीं है दोस्त.
yeah,
I told you that I have a lot of choices in this and that, and they're like, choices are not good. It's not good for
choices
the
are
brain.
not good because our brain tricks us into thinking that choices are good because evolutionarily we didn't have choice. तो जब choice दिखता है तो brain बहुत excited हो जाता है कि oh my god कितना choice है, क्या मजा आ रहा है. But the fact is that you are only increasing the stress levels in your brain.
That's why
It's not.
buffets work so well,
Yeah, I mean
right? That's why every
nobody.
five-star hotel has like Sunday buffet or something like that, because it works very
Correct.
well as a
It
marketing
works
thing.
very well. It gives the consumer the illusion of having made a better deal, but
Uh,
nobody eats healthy at a buffet.
Correct.
Nobody. So if you are having buffet breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then your health is fucked. And you will quickly realize that naturally, अगर एक हफ्ता समझो तूने सुबह शाम बुफे से खाया, तो you will realize कि एक हफ्ते के बाद your eating has gone down naturally. तुम नहीं खाओगे, तुम 8th day को सिर्फ fruits खाओगे. You will naturally
Correct.
find that your body is like, I can't have any more paneer, I can't have any more, मैं नहीं खा पाऊंगा इतना dessert. So you think that choice is good, but actually it is not.
So short term it feels like it's good, but in long term it's affecting in a major way.
Very well. So you have to be very careful. The only choice you should make is what choices you don't want to have.
So when the choice can be taken into a long-term effect, then you can make a choice. So for example, let's say I have a decision fatigue and I chose that I'll wear same time kind of clothes every day. Now choosing those clothes,
Is
you
a
can put
choice.
in the energy and time.
Correct.
But doing it every day is not a good option.
Correct. So in a relationship, like you spend a lot of time choosing, but then the logic says that once you've chosen, फिर तुम बार बार
Then
उसी
don't keep
टॉपिक को
choices.
मत निकालो. Then don't. Like then it just make it work. Now,
Right.
of course, this is very subjective to circumstances. Of course, like when you talk of
Of course,
something like
there is
relationship,
context over there.
love, of course there is context. Like if somebody is abusing you after 10 years, of course you leave them. Of course, like that is not even a question. But this is like a rule of thumb that not all choices are good. It is an illusion that your brain has created. So you have to remember this. And it is so easy, right? Like Swiggy क्या करता है, वही करता है ना. Are you really going to eat everything? No, but then it just gives you a feeling कि भाई मैं कुछ भी खा सकता हूँ. Similarly, Tinder, like you feel like, oh, you can just date anybody, you can fuck anybody. It's not true.
Right.
It is an illusion. But your brain is happy with that
It cannot
illusion.
perceive that illusion. वो देख ही नहीं पा रहा कि ये illusion है, like it's a mirage.
नहीं. So you are happily living in that state where you feel like itna choice, because remember that 50,000 years ago, choice means power.
हाँ.
So you
Correct.
feel powerful, right? Like kings had that choices. Like Harris जो बोलते हैं, you know, those landlords, zamindars had choice कि अच्छा मुझे खाने में जो भी चाहिए. Most people throughout evolution did not have choice. And so now when you open up YouTube and say, man, I can just watch anything, that is what the kings used to feel like. कि कोई भी आके entertain करो मुझे. Right? And most people did not have choice. But now every single person with a phone has choice. And so you are tricked into thinking that I am the ruler of the world. तुम नहीं
That
हो.
makes you kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, that also makes you narcissistic in some opinion.
Of course.
Yes, it does.
Narcissism is inbuilt. Nobody has to make you narcissistic. हम लोग सब
But
narcissistic है.
the level increases.
Right. Now
Yeah, everybody
now you
is.
have proof. So-called proof. Now you have proof that I am the king of the world.
तो मतलब आप center of universe थे according, so you are on point 1, but due to all of these things you have got to point 3.
Yeah, totally.
Makes sense.
And our brain thinks कि मैंने क्या किया है यार, मैंने मतलब what have I achieved that I have so much food, I have so much choice of food, entertainment, sex, like I have done everything in life. Whereas actually क्या किया है? Nothing.
That also makes you complacent in life.
Correct. So it is like a momentary feeling of I have done everything,
Achievement.
but then reality hits you. Like you close the phone and you look around and you realize in real life you haven't done that much.
मेरे
So there is
friends
a
हैं नहीं. I'm not dating anyone. I don't have that much food. मेरे fridge में 3 ही चीजें हैं.
Correct. And then there is a disconnect. And then you cannot deal with that. Ki in real life, I don't think I've achieved as much as I want to, but my phone tells me that I have achieved a lot. So let me go back to my phone. Let me live in this world where everything seems to be so abundant and I have so much choice.
Right.
So this is
That
the crazy loop.
makes you addicted. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I didn't thought in this way also. Addiction on this particular loop.
And this is universal. Like I think nobody on earth is now free of this loop.
Now I understand. There's one of my sisters. His name is Ria. She's addicted to Amazon. Like it was strange to me. So Facebook and all of these, I think, understand. But she's addicted to like Myntra and Amazon, and she's like scrolling every day. And the morning she wakes up, she does not open Instagram. She opens Myntra. I'm like, why are you doing this? And she's like, "Pata nahi, I feel like." And now I'm understanding. Oh, so she is basically feeling that choice ka thing that I have so many clothes.
Correct. I don't have so many clothes. That is the thing.
I have the option of these many clothes.
Right. You don't want so many clothes. In fact, तेरे घर में उतना जगह नहीं है इतना clothes रखने को. But you want to feel like you can have so many clothes. Right. And that is enough. You can
so your brain is
so many
now.
people. Correct. Just that possibility is enough.
Of abundance leads you to that place.
Correct. That anticipation is what dopamine is. कि शायद मैं पहुंच जाऊंगा यहाँ पे. एक बार समझो तूने लड़की को पूछा और एक बार हाँ बोल दिया तो तेरा डोपामिन कम हो गया. In fact. But जब तक वो हाँ नहीं बोलती.
गर्लफ्रेंड और बीवी में वो फर्क आ जाता है. कि once you don't have the girl and you are chasing, you have like kind of a spark in your life, right? Ki we have, I'll talk to her, let's see what happens, and you have that spark. But once that is done and you have dated 4 times, it's like normal.
And the only way to keep that spark alive is to never ask. क्योंकि फिर वो कंक्लूड हो जाएगा ना. हाँ कि ना बोल देगी. Either way you are sadder. So that is why people will just scroll.
Right.
So Tinder actually wants you to only keep swiping.
Not get anyone.
Yeah. The getting is like actually an app failure. Their actual goal is to just keep you swiping.
मतलब मैचेस नहीं हो तो ज्यादा अच्छा है.
हाँ भाई, मैच मतलब उनका like there is a in fact there is a percentage you have to match them around 30% of the times.
Okay.
Anything like lesser than that and people will stop swiping क्योंकि frustration हो गया. Anything more than that and they'll be like ये तो क्या हर लड़की swipe करती है तो हाँ ही बोलती है क्या मजा आ रहा है.
Uh,
So you need to get rejected around 70% of the times, but you
so
need to
that the
get
game, it
accepted
feels like a
30%.
game.
It feels like a
Uh,
game. So you
वो
keep on at it.
तो जो एक्सपेरिमेंट हुआ था पिजन के ऊपर दैट यू गेट अ जूस so when you give every time juice they are not so much in the game but then it's like a game that maybe you
Correct.
get or maybe you not then it
Correct.
becomes kind of more addictive to them.
Correct. Like if you go to a bar and you ask out 10 girls and all 10 girls say yes, you won't go to
It
that
becomes
bar.
more
Like क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
uh,
And then
right and
nobody
that's
can
why
even conceive of this क्योंकि life में ऐसा कभी हुआ ही नहीं है. So
correct
somebody will hear this and say नहीं नहीं what nonsense. I would love it. भाई तो try करके देख.
uh, like it would not become for me to have a business and fun if my every funnel works. I need to get those points where it's like नहीं दे पाया मेरे रिजल्ट नहीं नहीं
Correct.
जीत पाया मैं ये वाला वॉर नहीं नहीं
Correct.
चले मेरे एड्स I need to
Correct.
have that point so that I am consistent enough to the game and there's scope of improvement according to me because अगर मैं
Yeah.
10 लड़कियों से पूछा और मैं हाँ बोल दिया there's no scope of improvement I'm like I'm the best.
Absolutely. So,
But
in fact, the way to think about failure is that you should be glad because you know that it is going to make that happiness of success much more.
the worth of success would go higher and higher with each failure.
Correct. Because then your dopamine is there in anticipation, you'll succeed. That is what is happiness, basically. So if every single thing you do hits the bullseye all the time, you are going to be the most bored person on earth.
Right. And I remember one of my friends, his name is Bhuvan. He's like have IQ of 135 according to Stanford and
Mm-hmm.
Indiana. He told me that try to make every day of your life a 7 or a 6.
Mm.
It would be much better. Don't aim for 10. Because aim for 10 but make it 6 or 7 and hope that every day goes like 6 or 7 because then you'll have the courage and the opacity to touch 10 and also be grateful that I've not touched one today.
Yeah,
Right? अब मुझे समझ में आ रहा है क्यों
absolutely.
बोला रहा. So it's like aim for 10 but be settled with 6 or 7 because that's what keeps you alive as experience in life. Nice one, yeah.
Correct. Bro,
I enjoy
listen,
it.
this conversation is crazy, but I'm getting a call from the hospital. I will
Acha.
have to take that.
Acha, cool. Works.
Yeah, we'll do this again. Everybody
Done it.
who's come here, who's come from my account and who's not following Himanshu, I would definitely suggest that you follow him. He has some crazy content on marketing, on creating a funnel. So if you are somebody who's a content creator and you're interested in how to build your audience, he has some really good insights. Definitely check out his content.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. We'll continue this conversation, no problem. The hospital
Yeah.
things come.
Listen, dude, is this recorded? I really like this
Yeah,
chat.
this would be recorded. I would be posting on YouTube. So all the people who are asking this is recorded. I'll create it in a good format and I'll post it on my YouTube. I'll share the links with Sid and I'll post it on my account as well.
Amazing. All right. See you guys. Bye, everyone.
Done? Chalo. Bye. Nice conversation. Have a great day.
Yeah, dude. See you. You too.
If you liked this video and if you like this conversation, तो सब्सक्राइब मत करो. क्लिक करो चैनल पे और देखो क्या क्या वीडियोस है, एक्सप्लोर करो, समझो दूसरे वीडियोस को और देखो कि आपको ये कंटेंट पसंद आ रहा है. अगर ये कंटेंट पसंद आ रहा है देन क्लिक ऑन द सब्सक्राइब बटन, प्रेस द बेल आइकन, लाइक दिस वीडियो एंड शेयर इट विद योर फ्रेंड्स. अगर आप अपने कॉलीग्स के साथ या अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ शेयर करते हैं तो इससे आपको बेसिकली उनकी हेल्प करने का एक मौका मिलता है जो कि बहुत अच्छी बात होगी. सो थैंक यू सो मच एंड सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वन.